Shalom. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakah-Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth, and also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. This is Shabai of GMS Denver, and I was just quick little video. It says, the article I've got here says the 5 most powerful armies in the world. So it ranks the 5 most powerful armies in the world, and it starts out with number 5. Okay, so it does a little countdown. So it's got Japan listed at number 5. And you can pull this article off of Fox News if you want to read the whole thing. But it tells you, the size of their militaries, okay? How much money they've spent on their militaries. So you have number 5 is Japan, which would be a Moabite, right, nation. China is Moab. So actually Japan would be Ammon, okay? And then you have India is number 4. All right. And by the way, Donald Trump, him and his first lady Melania, they went to India. They were in India yesterday. They made a big old deal about it on the news, saying they were the first couple in office to visit India. All right. So they tried to, and now this is through the Spirit, because I didn't realize they were number 4 in militaries, so that makes sense, Esau, who is a cunning serpent, he's in cahoots with all of these powerful nations. But as the prophecy says, hey, these heathen, they're going to make the whore desolate, all right, which the whore is America, Babylon. Number 3, you have Moab, okay? They're the 3rd most powerful army in the world. Number 2, you got Russia, which is Magog in the Bible, who are Edomites. All right. And then you got number 1, the good old United States, the most powerful army in the world. Okay. This is why it says, who can make war with the beast? All right. So you got it right here. Number 1 is an Edomite. Go back down. Number 2 is an Edomite. Number 3 is a Moabite. Number 4, I believe India is Ishmaelite. They may be Japhetic. So forgive me for not being positive on that one. And then number 5, Ammon. All right. That's their biblical names, those militaries. Back to the top, the 5 most powerful armies in the world. All right. So let's go to the scriptures. And let's go to Genesis and show you why it's the most powerful. This is Genesis 27, and we'll start at 36. This is right after Esau lost his birthright, okay? Verse 36 says, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me in these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? So Esau's complaining. First of all, Jacob didn't take away his birthright. All right. For one, it was ordained by Yahweh for Jacob to have the birthright. And for 2, Jacob made a trade with Esau for the bloody meat. He let Esau eat the bloody meat, and Esau despised his birthright. All right. So right here in verse 36, it's literally showing you Esau lying. All right. Because if you read before this, Jacob didn't steal his birthright or take it away. No, he made a deal for it. He made an oath. But Esau's a liar, and and this is a funny part of Esau. These two verses, because shows you his characteristics, and he's a crybaby, right? As we're going to read on, verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou not but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. So he started crying because, Isaac already gave the blessing to Jacob, It was all ordained. It was all written. All right, poor Esau. He gets to cry about losing his blessing to his brother Jacob. Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. Alright, so right there, Esau is mad because he lost his blessing, because he'd rather have some bloody meat. And, so he still got a blessing, but he was still crying about it. That's the characteristic of the so-called white man. Always crying about shit, Martin Lawrence, he did stand-up, and he used to talk about how Edomites would, if you're in the movie theater making too much noise, hey, the Edomites ain't going to confront you. They're going to go tell on you. That's their spirit, So, focusing on verse 40, Genesis 27 and 40 says, And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So Isaac gave Esau, the so-called white man, his blessing, which was the sword. So now, this is why, if we read the article, the 5 most powerful armies in the world, and the top 2 nations are United States and Russia. So it's no coincidence, all right? It's biblical. There's a reason why the Edomites, United States and Russia, are the top armies or militaries in the world, okay? And the other verse I wanted to bring out real quick, these are both 2 popular verses from the camps that we teach. Let's see. Let's go to Psalms 83. And we can start at 1. Oh, we'll start at 2. Psalm 83, 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right, so who's taking crafty counsel? It's the list of our enemies from the Bible. All right. And who are the hidden ones? It's the Israelites. All right, because we've been told we are not the children of God. The so-called white man claims that he is the sons of God. He's the children of God, calling himself an Israeli right now, and a Jewish. Right, so that's why we're the hidden ones. Verse 4, it says, They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. All right. That's why all these blacks, so-called blacks and so-called Mexicans and so-called Native Americans, you guys don't know, you don't know who, you don't remember who you are. Because of that verse right there. Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The word confederate means together. So these nations are all together against us. All right. That's why you don't have in the United Nations, there's no African, so-called, African or black Negroes that have a seat in the United Nations. There's no so-called Mexicans that have a seat in the United Nations. There's no, none of the Israelite people have a seat in the United Nations. The UN, all right? The UN is the organization who, they come together regarding military and war action, okay? Verse 6. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. All right, so we read about Russia and the United States. And the Ishmaelites. And like I say, I think India falls under them. Of Moab, which is China. And the Hagarenes. Gebal and Ammon. So there's Ammon. They're also a list on the top 5 armies. They were Japan. So you can see all the top 5 armies in the world are the ones who are confederate against the Israelites. All right, and all these prophecies have fulfilled because they have cut us off from being a nation. There is no more remembrance of Israel. All right, because they're calling themselves so-called blacks, so-called Native Americans, so-called Hispanics. So therefore, the remembrance and the prophecy has fulfilled. But if you can see the list of enemies, and then you go back to the list of armies, all these top 5 armies are on that list of enemies of ours. That's why we can't save ourselves, man. Yahweh Shai is the only one who's going to be able to save us. So, just wanted to show this list here and show this list on Psalms 83 of our enemies. All 5 of our enemies, all 5 of our top enemies, according to the Bible, are 5 powerful militaries on the planet Earth. All right. So, with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ha-Rakah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth with sincerity. All right. Shalom to the elect.